A Garage Geek 3-in-1. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. So today I'm going to do a 3-in-1, and the first segment is going to be with comics, the second segment is going to be with vinyl, and then the third segment is going to be back to comics again. In section 1, Mr. E, the Low Grade King, and I wanted to carry on something that Comic Collector Geek has been doing, but he stopped for a while. The whole idea is we want to go into our collections and come up with a theme and then show off those comics based on those themes, and we're hoping other people will do the same. This week's theme, funny comic book covers. You know, that can cover a wide variety of different topics and genres, obviously. Now, it's interesting because I was just on with Donald Westlake, I almost said it. Don Rex. You know, we were showing older comics, and, you know, it gets you to think about, you know, the origin of comics. And they were originally called comic books and funny books. And so they were originally meant just to be funny and not all serious like they are now. So we're going to take this opportunity to focus on the funnier side of comics. So let's start with an old one. So I have a Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 220. The reason I think this is funny is because Donald Duck doesn't have his top on. I don't know why I think that's funny. It's like the first time I'm seeing Donald naked, and notice the towel doesn't cover his genital area. He's just covering up here, but we get to see his shoulders. I don't know why, but I just think this is really funny. Next, we have another 10-cent comic, and this is Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. The joke on this is really, really stupid, but I'm going to say why I think this is funny. Dean Martin says, "They sure have lovely peaches here, Jer." And, of course, he's looking all stupid over here, and he says, "Ah, you're sure stupid, Dean boy. You can't even tell an orange from a peach." It's so silly. But the reason I think this is hilarious is it's so flagrantly sexist. Calling these women peaches, and I don't know. It's just so sexist. It just makes me laugh. And then he's oblivious. I mean, look at his face. Oh, Lord. Okay, this next comic I've shown before, but man, it makes me laugh. It is a 12-cent Action Comics. It is number 315. And the only reason I laugh is because Superman says, "Great Scott, it's Ziggy and Zaggy, those brats from outer space." I don't know why that makes me chuckle every time. Superman calling these kids brats, just, I love it. I love it to death. This next comic I've shown before, but to me it's hilarious. It's a Detective Comics number 381. It's a 12-center. And we have Batman and Robin on the cover. And I mean, like, what is going on? Why is Batman throwing Robin to his death? This is just the most hilarious cover. "Down you go, Robin. From now on, I work alone." He's like, "Bye, bitch." Next, I have a 12-cent Not Brand Eck, and it's number 7. Now, of course, these are supposed to be funny parodies, but in this issue on the cover, I find a couple of things funny. First of all, we have the origin of the Fantastical Four, and look at their ship. It's all crashed on this mountaintop. But what I find funny is they are making fun of Superman, and they call him, like, Stuperman, which, of course, we're supposed to, you know, equate with Stupid Man. The thing that they're saying is, like, it's a cash grab, because they're talking about all the different super pets. And of course we have a dog, but then we have like a serpent. What is that? A ladybug, a chicken, a super pig. I mean, it's quite funny actually, how they're calling DC a cash grab. Next, I'm gonna show another comic that I've often shown. I love this cover. This is like so cruel, it's funny. So this is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 115, and we've got this gorgeous Neil Adams cover. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. But look at it. Like, Superman is withholding water from these two. So whoever dies first, then the other one gets the drop of water. I mean, this is hilarious. Like, I just can't believe it. I think this is such a cool cover, but really? Next, we're jumping to two 15-cent comics. So first we have Adventure Comics with Supergirl number 406. And we got this very simple cover. I just think this is hilarious because this woman, I know they're one and the same, and now to prove it, and she's like all scheming and nasty and conniving. And I'm like, why don't you just leave Supergirl alone? She's trying to save the world all the time. And it's called Suspicion. And I mean, the art is pretty bad on this thing, but look at Supergirl's outfit with their boots up to here. I mean, pretty funny. Next, we have the new Millie the Model, number 185. It's a 15 center. And I really wanted to show one of these because Don Rex showed one. The covers are meant to be funny. This man is dancing with his wife, and he's staring at Millie the Model. I mean, look at her crazy outfit. Look at the band. But look at him. He's got his arms around the pole, and he says, "Of course I have my mind on my dancing dear. You're as light on your feet as ever." Look at the wife. The next one we have, which is my penultimate one, is Miss Marvel number 19. And I grabbed this just because maybe I think sexism is funny. I don't know, because this is like the second time I've had a sexist cover on here. Okay, what do you want, honey? Do you want to sit in my lap? Come on, honey. Do you want to sit down? What do you want, baby? So we've got the difference between the Marvels. They're both on the cover, but look at Miss Marvel. She's got to be like all ripped and a boob is almost exposed. It's like that on so many of her covers. Her costume's all ripped up. But look, Captain Marvel, he's not all ripped up. His costume is totally fine. So, at the mercy of Ronin. I mean, yeah. What's going on with that? I guess that's not technically funny, but it makes me laugh. Okay, the last one is kind of for Nate at Hall Yeah Comics because he's like so about Dazzler. And I want to show him what that whole Dazzler stuff brought about. Okay, that whole Dazzler furor. So Dazzler was probably the best thing to come out of that. But I don't want you to forget about Rocket Racer, the guy who was like skateboarding up the sides of buildings. And then we have this one, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 24. And he's battling, I don't even know what. Like, look at this guy with his white suit and his pink guitar. He's called the Hypno Hustler. I mean, it's vaguely racist. It's hilarious. And then, you know, you got the backup singers here. I mean, this is just silly. And I brought another comic, which is just a couple issues later. And it's one of the most iconic, awesome covers that you have. I mean, this thing is amazing. And this is just number 29. And this one is number 24. I mean, look at this. So I pulled 5 albums from my collection to go along with this theme. So I tried to find albums that I thought were pretty funny for whatever reason. Now, the first one is not going to seem obvious to you, and that is this Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits. I mean, it's got a really cool drawn cover. It's also got a really cool back to it. When you pull it out, the interior art on the sleeve is really cool. That doesn't look funny at all right now. The reason I'm laughing is because I got this album for $1 and it's in really good shape. I'm laughing because prices on vinyl have gone up so much since I bought this, and it's in really good condition. The only thing that's wrong with it is there's a tear here on the inner sleeve, but the album is in beautiful shape. I just think, yeah, that $1 kind of makes me laugh thinking about how the prices of vinyl have really skyrocketed. So this is an album I've shown before. This makes me laugh because we've got these Phase 4 stereo albums, which I really, really love. But we've got this Hair Goes Latin, and we got all these people, you know, maybe mostly, I would assume, cultural appropriation. They're all dressed up with their serapes and their sombreros. It's funny for the time. Cultural appropriation, now they would be accused of that. But to me, it looks like innocent fun that they're having on this album cover. I don't know. What do you think? I pulled the next one because this is often quoted as being on the list of the worst album covers of all time, but I really, really like it. They actually made the background themselves. They lit things on fire. I think there was a tire on fire, and it smoked up the studio really bad. But we have the Louvin Brothers, Satan is Real, and this is actually a really, really good album. Really good. I just think it's funny. I mean, look at Satan. He's almost looking like Satan from South Park. I don't know. What do you think about this? I think this is a great album cover, and I bought it just for the cover, even before I realized it was on the list of one of the worst album covers ever. This is a reissue. Number 4 is, I'm showing this just because I think the art is awful. We have songs and sounds from the era of the Untouchables. Look at this really bad art. They're like shooting people, shooting cops, shooting robbers, or it's a drive-by. I mean, this thing is pretty hilarious to find in a bargain bin somewhere. The Untouchables. Okay, this final album I've shown before. This thing cracks me up every time I see it, no matter what. If I see this album, I'm gonna get a smile on my face, and that is Casey and the Sunshine Band, Do You Wanna Party? I mean, what the heck? Wait, I have to show you the whole thing. So they're being shot through the air. Oh, it doesn't really line up, but they're being shot out of a Casey and the Sunshine bottle of champagne, and they're riding that cork. I mean, what does that cork look like? And they're riding that cork, and they're all happy. I mean, look at his pants, his shoes, his shirt. Like, this is album cover gold. I will never, ever get rid of this album. And then in the middle, you have this great gatefold. Probably one of the best album covers that I own in my collection. Okay, part 3 of this is I was bad and I went on WhatNot and I got 13 comics and they arrived today. I didn't pay a lot for these. I usually don't spend a lot, usually between $2 to $5 depending on the comic, but then you have to factor in shipping. Usually you pay about $8 in shipping total, which adds to the total cost of all the books. So the first one is this Action Comics number 403. Attack of the Micro Murderer and the Man with the X-Ray Mind. I warn you, donors, as we begin the transfusion, your blood will save Superman or kill him. But we have no choice. It's a risk we must take. And they're all lined up. How many of them will it take to transfuse him? Next, I got another checkerboard. I love these. This is Hawkman number 15. It's in pretty bad shape, but I'm happy to have it. When I put it in a Mylar, it's going to look nice. I mean, look at that pretty cool cover. Yeah, I really dig that art. Hurry, 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 Hawkman. If the monster's hand is quicker than your ice, Earth will be blasted by the scourge of the human race. Next, I got a giant Lois Lane. It's number 77, featuring a collection of Lois's greatest shockers. Like, look at that. So obviously, this is a reprint issue. So we have the Mad Woman of Metropolis. She's holding a picture of Superman. Lois's Witchcraft Curse. Like, this is the coolest. Lois Lane, Convict. I think I have that one. The Ghost of Lois Lane. Oh, she done died. Rip. Yeah, Rip Lois Lane. And then over here we have Lois Lane's X-Ray Vision. Ooh, she's trying to look at Superman's you-know-what. She wants to see his super junk. Next I have a Superman number 208. I'm pretty sure this is a Neil Adams cover. Oh, look at this. So cool. So it's split in half. And it says, now the mob belled Superman like a cat. And Superman says, the underworld tricked me into wearing this collar, but I don't dare remove it. He's in Paris. The bleeps from Superman's collar show he's over Paris. This tracker's better than a bloodhound. Now the super sap can never hide from us. Super sap. Oh, Lord. And look at these mobsters. They don't look very fierce. Oh, this one is such a great one to get into my collection. I want all the George Perez covers of Avengers, but they're pretty expensive. But I was able to get this one. This is Avengers number 175, and this is From Whence Came the Enemy. And this is actually not a Perez cover. This is a Cockrum and Austin cover. But I still want this era of the Avengers because I was reading this as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. Maybe the interior art is Perez. I'm not sure. I still don't have the These Who Lay Dying cover, and that's one of my favorites. I love that one. Here is John Carter, Warlord of Mars, number 28, Guardians of the Lost City, and I do believe this is the last issue in the series. Here we have a 20-cent Creatures on the Loose, number 22, and this is Thongor, Warrior of Lost Lemuria. I actually have a bunch of these, and this helped fill a gap, so I was very happy about that. New from the House of Ideas that gave you Conan and Kull. I don't know if this is his first appearance. Oh yeah, it says it right there. First time in comic book form. The Demon of Zangabal. Zangabal or Zangable. But look at, that's pretty cool art. Who is that? It says it. Oh, it's a Steranko cover. Usually those go for a lot of money. Maybe it's just those older Captain America ones. I was so happy to get this. It's my first in this series. I used to have them all. They go for a lot now. The Twisted Tales #7. I just love these covers. And most of them were by the artist of Den, Richard Corbin, the early issues. But that's pretty cool. Now, I got it cheap because it's like, I don't know if you could see it. There's a lot of spine ticks. I don't care. I was happy to get this. I got it cheap. Here is a Tarzan issue to fill my run. It's a Dell Gold Key. Tarzan and the Tarzan twins. Now, it's got some writing up here. Someone did math on it. I wonder if the math is good. No. Oh, wait, they were subtracting. So 260 minus 185 equals 75. I hope that's good math. Yeah, one of these painted covers, I'm going to actually try to go in and see if I can erase that. But otherwise, I mean, that's kind of makes the comic unique. This next one, I don't have any of these. And this is a 12-cent Flash Gordon from King Comics. It's #3. Look at that cool cover. Flash meets Monolith, champion of all Mongo in a duel to the death. Now, I was really concerned because when I compared this to another 12-cent comic, like this is a 15-cent, it's the same size. But when I compared it to another comic that was a 12-center, like it's a lot smaller. So I was scared that maybe someone had trimmed it. It's not that big of a deal. But when I looked online at the cover, it looked like the cover was where it should be. So anyways, I'm very happy to have that. I don't have any Flash Gordon in my collection. I'll probably read this one first. So as you saw, I have another Dell. This is, I think, from the 4-color series. There's so many. There's 1,000 or maybe 1,500 of them. This one is number 598. Captain Davy Jones. And he's about to get clocked. So the last two I got are Classics Illustrated. This one is number 19. This cover is very faded. I'm still glad to have it. And at a future time, I would like to get one that's in better condition. But this is Huckleberry Finn. And you can see, like, even his name. Let me take it out of this. It's probably this plastic that's doing it. Yeah, this plastic is really old. Yeah, and you can see, like, even the name, Samuel Clemens, it's almost gone. I've got to get it out of that plastic. This plastic just feels really bad as I go ahead and put it right back in it. And then the final one is Jack London's Seawolf. And this one is a 15-center, number 85. Pretty cool cover. Now, with Classics Illustrated, they reprinted them so often. And many of them have different covers, which I think is cool. It makes it collectible. I don't need an original as long as I have the issue. If this is not the first printing to me, that doesn't matter. I just like having the art and having the issue. I can't tell you if this is a first printing, second, third, because they're all listed in my comic database and I have no idea. I didn't even bother to look it up. I just clicked second printing because they were all 15 cents. I don't care if it's which printing it is. So there you have it, a Garage Geek 3-in-1. I showed off some funny comics for the Comic Collector Challenge. I showed off 5 albums that I thought were funny to continue the theme. And then I did a mini haul of 13 comics that I got in the mail today from being bad on WhatNot. Of course, I look forward to any of your comments, and I want to thank all of you for the support.